In a classroom filled with whispers and stares, one boy sat silently, his clothes worn, his eyes.
Teacher mocks student for being poor, then regrets it. Classrooms are supposed to be safe. A place where every child, no matter their background, can dream big. But for one young boy, that dream was shattered, not by bullies in the hallways, but by the very person who was supposed to protect him, his teacher. In front of the entire class, she mocked him, humiliated him, all because he was poor. But what she didn't know was that the boy she laughed at would soon teach her a lesson she would never forget. And when the truth came out, it left the whole school and the world stunned. Before we dive deeper into this video, make sure to hit the subscribe button and subscribe for more. This case is just getting started and you don't want to miss how the story came to an end. And now back to the story. It was just another Monday morning. 12-year-old Ethan Parker slipped quietly into class, clutching a worn-out notebook. His clothes were clean but faded, his shoes patched more times than he could count. To him, school wasn't just about grades, it was his escape. A place where, at least for a few hours, he could forget the empty fridge at home and his mother working double shifts just to keep the lights on. But not everyone saw Ethan that way. His teacher, Ms. Miller, was known for being sharp-tongued. To her, Ethan wasn't just another student. He was a reminder of everything she looked down on: poverty, struggle, imperfection. That morning, when Ethan quietly asked if he could borrow a pencil, her voice cut through the room like glass. Ms. Miller, mocking. Oh, what a surprise. Ethan doesn't have his supplies again. What's wrong? Couldn't afford a pencil this time? The class erupted in laughter. Ethan froze. His cheeks burned. He wanted to disappear. But Ms. Miller wasn't finished. She smirked, adding, "Maybe if you stopped being lazy, you wouldn't always have to beg." The giggles grew louder. Kids whispered, pointed, snickered. And Ethan? He lowered his head, clutching that torn notebook, silently wishing the floor would swallow him whole. What Ms. Miller didn't know was that Ethan's silence was not weakness. It was the calm before a storm. Word of the incident spread quickly. Some students laughed about it. Others felt uneasy. But one person was furious: Mrs. Parker, Ethan's mother. When Ethan came home that day, trying to hide his tears, she noticed. And when he finally broke down and told her what happened, she knew she couldn't stay silent. She marched to the school the very next morning. But here's where things took a turn. Because while Ms. Miller thought she was mocking just another poor kid, she had no idea who Ethan really was. That same week, the school was hosting a community assembly, and the guest speaker? A local nonprofit leader who provided food, shelter, and support to struggling families. And the person they were honoring was Ethan. Because despite his young age, Ethan had been volunteering weekends at a food bank, helping serve meals to families just like his. He wasn't lazy. He wasn't helpless. He was a fighter, a giver, a boy with a heart bigger than his circumstances. When the principal announced Ethan's name and his story, the entire auditorium stood to applaud. And sitting in the audience, her face pale, was Ms. Miller. The very boy she had mocked for being poor was being celebrated as a hero. The story didn't stay in that auditorium. A parent recorded the speech. The video went online. Within days, it went viral. Millions watched as Ethan, a boy mocked for being poor, was honored for giving back more than most adults ever had. And the comments poured in. Poverty is not a punchline. That teacher should be ashamed. Ethan is living proof that kindness is strength. The school board launched an investigation. Ms. Miller's reputation crumbled. Parents demanded accountability. She issued a public apology, but for many, the damage was done. As for Ethan, donations flooded the food bank in his name. Volunteers doubled. And for the first time in his life, he realized something powerful. His struggle was not his shame. It was his strength. This story isn't just about one teacher's cruelty. It's about the dangerous assumptions we make. We judge people by their clothes, their wallets, their struggles, without ever knowing the battles they fight in silence. Ethan may not have had money for a pencil, but he carried something far greater: dignity, resilience, compassion. And in the end, it wasn't the teacher who taught the biggest lesson. It was the boy she tried to break. Because poverty is not weakness, and respect is something every human being deserves. If this story moved you, don't just scroll away. Subscribe, because these are the stories that matter. Stories that reveal the truth, expose injustice, and remind us of the dignity every person carries.